Hi, Michael. How are you?
Yeah, really good. How's you?
I'm absolutely fantastic. Thanks very much. Welcome to the Business Spotlight. Michael, thanks for taking the time to speak with me today. Could we start? Could you tell me a little about yourself and your business, please?
Okay. So I'm an architect. Um, I run a architectural practice, surprisingly. And I trained in Queens and then over in England. And I qualified, I think it was around about 2004. And I'd worked for a number of kind of high-end um, design practices across the UK and Ireland before opening 2020. And sorry, I should say it wasn't just me who opened it. There's two other directors are equal parts of it to me.
Okay, and how many are in the team overall?
I think we've got 12 at the moment. Um, I'd have to run through exactly, but yeah, I think it's 12.
And you launched the business in 2020. I know it's a daft question, but
Sorry, 2024. No, sorry, I qualified. No, we launched the business 12 years ago.
okay, cool.
Yeah, no, 2020's got nothing to do with the year. I don't think for most people, I think 2020 is a year that they would rather forget. I think it was in the depths of COVID. But yeah, it was a I'd actually been working as a director for a guy who ran a business called 2020 Architects, and he wanted to get out. It was a very small practice. There was only a couple of us in it, and he wanted to get out and retire. And he was closing down the practice. He knew I was probably going to go and set up something by myself. He asked whether I would continue. You have to service clients even after you retire, and he asked whether I would service some of his clients, and I agreed to and just took the name on.
And
So
what was the spark that led you to go in your own business?
Well, the fact that he was retiring and I by that point I was a director of his business and non-equity, and as I say, I'd been a design architect in some very, very good firms, and I think it's I think when you're from Northern Ireland, there seems to just be this thing that I didn't notice so much in England when I worked there, where people go, "Well, I'm going to set up a business." And it seems to be in England, becoming an employee and becoming a senior employee in a business is the thing to do. Whereas Northern Irish people seem to have this mindset where I can do it myself. And so when he was retiring, I don't think I thought at all about getting another job. I think it was always something that was in my head, and it just was a very natural time to do it.
And help me understand what your target market is, Michael, please.
So based on like where I'd come from in the practice, and based on the other two directors, they had come from high end kind of residential. We were all used to that as a market. Um, Now, saying we opened 12 years ago, it was still at the tail end of the recession. And so high-end residential, there wasn't a huge amount of it. But that was that's where we wanted to be, the I should say high design residential rather than high-end residential, because some of it's actually very low cost. But it's that more design orientated um, house. And that's where our market's always been. It's what we've kind of been known for. And it used to be hand and heart. I would always say that's what we did. And these days, because of designing houses for so many people who own businesses, and them enjoying the process of the way we work and the way we design and kind of collaborative approach we take with clients, them them offering us the opportunity to design something for their business. So we've done an awful lot of commercial over the last kind of 5 or 6 years, and that's just growing. And seemingly in Ireland, if you've made money, the thing to do is to set up a distillery. So we've got quite a name for doing distilleries and quite a bit of tourism and the like.
Sure. Can you name drop any distilleries?
We've just finished, just actually got planning for the Glens of Antrim distillery, which is going to be a massive investment for the Glens of Antrim. So they've moved from potatoes, obviously, and then they went into crisps, and then now they're in. I thought they'd go into poaching, but they've gone into whiskey and vodka and things.
Right. Sounds like a great night out. So, like, what would you say has been your biggest lesson since going out with 2020?
Yeah, that's a tricky one. The thing about architecture is you spend quite a long time at university learning how to design, and nobody teaches you anything about how to run a business. And it's very the skills are very different. Um, and so one of the things that architects have naturally a tendency to be quite egotistical and think that they're right, and this architecture school nearly drives this into architects, and it's something I wasn't very keen on anyway. But seeing the ability in other people and understanding where they're better than you, and being, strong enough in yourself to go, I don't have to be the best at everything, and this person is better than me, and then taking that and pushing it on. And so, yeah, seeing that in people who work for you, and trying to coax that out of them, and creating a team that just uses all the best in every individual is probably
Very
what
good.
I've learned. Like, you also have to look after the pounds and pennies, and make sure your business is working well. But I think that is key, is getting that team, and seeing where they can you can push people on.
And if you could sum up or describe entrepreneurship in 3 words, what would they be?
Well, like, this is going to obviously be unique to me, but the way that I've always approached architecture, and because you're designing people's family homes, and we even take that into our commercial work, and we're doing distillery and tourism and all this kind of stuff. And generally, it's working with people who've got individually own the business rather than big committees. So it's probably a little bit easier, but our job is supposed to be enjoyable. It's supposed to be fun, and I think if you're in business and you're not enjoying it, there's something missing. You just are obviously doing the wrong thing. So the fun element can't ever be forgotten. This is what we're going to be doing for the vast majority of our lives. So fun, you're always definitely going to be taking risks. You can't do this without putting a fair bit on the line. And but I think that also adds to the fun. And the last bit is, like, something that we've been really keen on is trying to be innovative. Trying to look at what is done in the industry and go, what bits don't work very well, and not just, architecture is one of those kind of old industries where you're not really supposed to rock the boat, and you're not supposed to do the RIBA and RIAI and all our governing bodies, etc., are quite keen on a continuation of the norm, but sometimes the norm doesn't work very well, and so it's trying to see those potentials, and do something different.
And
That's
are there
a
any,
lot more than 3 words.
that was with fun, risk, and
Being innovative.
innovative. Yeah, we'll go that. I like those. And are there any business leaders or people even that have inspired you along the way or that you look up to?
Um, yeah, like I'm very lucky that an awful lot of my clients are the big business leaders of Ireland and designing their private houses. And when you're designing people's private houses, you get to know them quite well. And so, like, I could choose any number of my clients. I don't want to offend anyone that I don't choose, but there's a unique kind of subset of my clients who have done it more than once, have created an incredibly successful business, and then done it again. And I always find that with business, it's worth acknowledging that some of this is luck. You know, yes, you find that with these kind of business leaders, they quite often have very similar mindsets or very similar attitudes. They're very driven. They're willing to work incredibly hard, etc. But some of it is luck. But the people who have done it multiple times, there's no luck in that. They're just particularly skilled at what they're doing. And I think one that is right, in the forefront of my head at the moment, just because we did get their distillery just approved, is Michael McKillop of Glens of Antrim Potatoes. Just the journey that they've gone on, that we've been, in an incredibly small way involved in, going from potatoes going to crisps and then on now to onto a distillery and alcohol is it's just amazing what they're doing.
And if you're on a desert island and you've got a book or a podcast or both, what are you reading or listening to?
Um, I love books, but I find it very, very difficult to read a book twice. So always when I listen to Desert Island Discs, always kind of they always bring the Bible. Obviously, it's one of the books that are given to them. But I would definitely be bringing a podcast just because it's a new episode every whatever. And the one that I'm listening to, always find it difficult to understand what is a podcast and what's just a radio show that is just repeated later on. But the one that I'm particularly interested in at the moment is one on BBC Sounds called Americast, where twice a week they discuss American politics and what's going on in America and things. And I grew up while was born in the late 70s and very much a child of the 80s. And for us, America was, the promised land. It was where everybody dreamed to get to, and where every film came from and TV show. And while I probably wouldn't want to live there now, I'm still, I've still got that interest.
And if you look ahead to the future, what things, what sort of goals or what excites you most about the journey for 2020?
Well, we've been growing strongly for like very strongly for the last number of years, and keep that growth going in the core business is important. But I don't see that. Hopefully, I don't see that stopping. We're just finishing our own offices in Ballymoney. So it'll be nice to get into those later on this year. We've got an office in the south, and this is very much a satellite office, but expanding that will be important. But then also there's things coming down the pipeline that are going to affect all kind of service industries, all probably industries, is the likes of AI and all this kind of stuff. And where how you take that as an opportunity rather than a risk to your business. And so we've got add-on services which are spinning out into their own kind of businesses, and how we can, that's where I really see growth. And it's exciting to, the opportunity to take those new startup kind of elements and grow them again.
And Michael, if somebody likes what they've heard and would like to reach out or get in touch with you or 2020, what would be the best way for them to go about that?
I'm not a big social media person, which some people find strange because we're big on social media. I think at one point we were the 18th most popular architect on Facebook when Facebook was a big deal in the world, which for a little architect in Northern Ireland was massive. But social media is probably the best way to contact us, either that or through email through the website.
Brilliant. Well, Michael Howe from 2020 Architects, thanks very much for sharing your time and your journey. I wish you all the success for the remainder of 2024 and beyond. Thank you very much indeed.
No problem. It was very nice to chat to you, Peter.